Stocks advantage sharply for day and week, while copper falls. In addition, New York stocks on global markets rallied on Friday and registered robust gains for the week as a latest slide in commodity expenses eased worries approximately inflation and the rate hike outlook. The S&P 500 climbed 3.1% in its largest everyday percent advantage due to the fact that May 2020, and the MSCI International Index rose 4.8% for the week, snapping 3 immediately weeks of declines. U.S. Treasury yields edged up from 2-week lows. Investors have been involved that competitive interest fee hikes by the Federal Reserve and other most important relevant banks to fight inflation may want to reason a recession, which might reduce call for commodities and different gadgets. The stock marketplace got here into this week oversold, so it become time for a soar, stated Quincy Crosby, chief equity strategist at LPL Financial, NASDAQ, LPLA, in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've visible oil costs come down in conjunction with other commodity costs, she mentioned, including that the marketplace's flow is reflecting expectations of as a minimum a marked slowdown if not an out-and-out recession. Also, the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey's reading on 5-year inflation expectancies became positive for shares, Crosby stated. It eased to 3.1 from the initial 3% estimate in mid-June. The benchmark S&P 500 remaining weak confirmed to undergo marketplace. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 823.32 factors, or 2.68%, to 31,500.68. The S&P 500 received 116.01 points, or 3.06%, to 3,911.74, and the Nasdaq Composite brought 375.43 points, or 3.34%, to 11,607.62. For the week, the S&P 500 rose 6.4%, the Dow introduced 5.4% and the Nasdaq received 7.5%. The Pan-European Stoxx 600 index rose 2.62% and MSCI's gauge of shares across the globe gained 2.63%. Benchmark copper on the London Metal Exchange was 0.5% lower at $8,367 a ton after touching $8,122.50, down 25% from a top in March and the lowest stage considering the fact that February 2021. Other commercial metals additionally tumbled. Oil costs had been better Friday on but notched their second weekly decline. On the day, Brent crude settled up $3.07, or 2.8%, at $113.12 a barrel, whilst U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude settled up $3.35, or 3.2%, at $107.62. In the Treasury marketplace, yields have dropped from extra-than-decade highs reached before closing week's Fed meeting. The U.S. significant financial institution hiked costs through 75 basis factors at the meeting. Fed finance's futures traders at the moment are pricing for the benchmark rate to upward thrust to approximately 3.5% by March, down from expectations final week that it would boom to around 4%. Benchmark 10-year yields had been final at 3.125%. They have fallen from 3.498% on June 14, the best on account that April 2011. In the foreign exchange market, the U.S. greenback fell and posted its first weekly decline this month. In afternoon New York trading, the dollar index, which measures the U.S. unit towards 6 important currencies, fell 0.2% to 104.013. The U.S. greenback slide boosted even commodity-focused currencies along with the Australian greenback and Norwegian crown. The Aussie rose 0.8% to US dollar 0.6946. Spot gold delivered 0.2% to $1,826.39 an ounce.